Welcome to Disrupting Japan, straight talk from Japan's most successful entrepreneurs. I'm Tim Romero, and thanks for joining me. Today, we're going to talk about a $290 billion e-commerce trend that is sweeping through Northeast Asia, but hasn't taken off in the US or Europe. Well, at least, not yet. You and I are going to sit down with Masa Shimizu, founder and CEO of Zeals, and we're going to talk about chat commerce. Now, Masa will explain the structural reasons that this has been so popular in Japan, China, and Korea, and why it's about to take off in the West. And it's not just Masa and me saying so. Zeals just raised $39 million to fund their U.S. expansion. So this is a trend you need to know about. We also talk a lot about the Japanese concept of omotenashi, which is usually translated as hospitality. And yeah, kind of. I mean, that's probably the closest word we have for it in English, but there's more to it than that. It's a kind of obsession and a giving of yourself honestly and wholeheartedly to make your guests comfortable and satisfied. It's kind of a satisfaction and happiness that you get from making your guests happy. So, Masa and I talk about omotenashi, about a structural change coming to global social network platforms, how we can get more Japanese startups to go global, and why the third-party cookie ban means the death of retargeting and the birth of the chat commerce boom. But you know, Masa tells that story much better than I can, so let's get right to the interview. I'm sitting here with Masa Shimizu, the founder and CEO of Zeals, who is a driving force behind chat commerce. So thanks for sitting down with us.
Thank you for reaching out.
To start out with, what is chat commerce?
Chat commerce is next e-commerce innovations. So on e-commerce website, many people feel concerned to purchase online, especially expensive items or complex items. We can support through communication experience. And we believe this is omotenashi experience. Omotenashi is Japanese word, which means hospitality. It's very exciting and helpful experience, I think.
So when you're talking about chat commerce, is this interaction over social media? Is this interaction over like chat at corporate websites? What's the main channel where this conversation is taking place?
Mainly is SNS. In Japan case, LINE platform is most important because many people use this platform. And other country, other channel is very important. Example, WhatsApp, Facebook Messengers, WeChat, and Instagram, and so on.
Okay, that makes, and it's funny, people coming into the Japanese market often underestimate the importance that LINE plays in social media in Japan. It's huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's walk through an example from the customer's point of view. So would a consumer start out by just saying, I'd really like a new pair of shoes. Does anyone have any advice? How does the interaction start?
Start point is website or in Instagram case, Instagram story, in feed post or advertisement. So user watch advertisement and click this typical e-commerce experience jump website. But chat commerce case, user watch advertisement and click this jump chat experience and communication and understand item and buy item from chat.
Well, that makes sense because in that way, it's maintaining this social network experience rather than having to transition to a e-commerce experience or a website experience.
Yes. So this chat commerce experience have been invented and spread from Asian market. It's very unique progress, I think.
Later on, I really want to dig down on why this seems to be so unique to Asia. But right now, like just understanding the flow, so it's we keep the user, the potential consumer, in a social media framework, in a mindset. And are they chatting with a chatbot, or are they chatting with people, or is it a combination of the two? How does that work?
Important questions. It's very simple. Only chatbot. First timing, we provide chatbot and personal chat. We provide both, but we step by step focus on chatbot experience through smart reply. This new experience we invented. From now on, more and more companies focus on only chatbot experience.
That makes sense from the consumer point of view, but you've got over 400 businesses using Zeals now. Tell me about your customers. Why are they using it? What's a typical use case?
Example, NTT Docomo, the biggest telecom company in Japan, and Asahi Beer, the top beverage company in Japan, and recently Estee Lauder, MAC Cosmetic, and enterprises interested in these areas. Before Zeals, many enterprises focus on chatbot for customer support. So inbound areas, FAQ and answer only. But we have opened up outbound area, make conversion through chatbot experience.
So I agree. Chatbots in general tend to be viewed as customer support, or maybe some, I don't know, very light pre-sales at the website type of thing.
Yes,
What did you do to change that into a more sales focused, commerce focused application?
important background. One point is third-party cookie ban. So retargeting advertisement from now on decreasing. From now on, retargeting marketing will be limited by platformers.
That's a really good point. And for our listeners who are not involved with e-commerce, retargeting is when you'll visit a site and then you'll see banner ads and display ads for that site for the next 2 weeks everywhere you go. And it can be a little creepy, but it's very effective. And
Yes, or retargeting advertisement is very important for making conversion for any e-commerce customers. So many e-commerce customers have big concern what service they will use. About chat commerce, we don't use third-party cookie, but we can continually communicate with users through chat commerce. So third-party cookie ban is a big reason many companies starting to use chat commerce. And second point, Line and Instagram and so on invested a lot of money to grow this account, but now those accounts cannot make actual sales. Only branding, engagement, it's great, but cannot make conversion or sales.
so if I'm understanding correctly, so one of the big advantages of chat commerce is that once a user initiates that conversation, they initiate that chat, you have a direct connection to them, either via Facebook Messenger or via Line Messenger. And so you don't need the retargeting and you don't need to pay Facebook to promote your post. You have that direct connection. Am I understanding it right?
Yeah, our strong point is 3 points. One point is huge conversational insight data for next level marketing. And the second is communication design specialist team to making great conversational experience. And the third point is pay per performance fee business model. So client use this with no risk. So many case clients have already Line accounts or Instagram accounts, and we will connect with chat commerce.
All right. I really want to dive into the overall market and the technology. But before we do that, I want to ask a little about you. So, You started Zeals back in 2014 when you were still a student, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, originally you were focused on like robotics or you were doing something different.
So I established Zeals when I was a university student in 2014, and the first project was to develop a robot. But to be honest, we couldn't make this business profitable. This project needed a lot of money, very big
Robotics is
money.
so
So
hard. I mean,
yes, yes, very
was there any one problem or it was just you didn't know what you were doing kind of first startup?
yeah, so I think it's crazy. Fast project. Yeah, but we learned many things through this project and we transformed robotics technology into communication technology on smartphone and chat.
Yeah, so you pivoted just a couple years ago in like 2019 to the chatbots. But before that, like when you were at university, what kind of support did you get from the university? Did they help you on your startup journey? What was that like?
Ah, yeah, definitely nothing.
No, that's one of the most interesting things in Japan is the level of support that new founders get at different universities. So at the University of Tokyo or Keio or Kyoto,
Yeah.
there's this huge amount of mentoring and funding support. But you went to Meiji University, right?
Yeah. So 2040, it's nothing. And maybe Tokyo, Keio, and so on. Recently, more support for, I think. I wish we get support by university, but nothing.
So in 2019, as you mentioned, you made that pivot to chatbots, and you recently raised $39 million. So congratulations.
Thanks. It's very tough, but Salesforce Ventures and JIC Growth Venture Investment, their sovereign fund invested Zeros. It's very important for growing Zeros and conversational commerce market, I think.
I think so. And I'm curious about one aspect of the fundraising. So you raised about 27 million in equity sales and 11 million in debt.
Yeah.
And so these structures I always find really interesting. So what was the motivation for doing the 11 million in debt instead of doing it all in equity financing?
In Japan, step by step become normal, or of course, equity finance is very important. And Mitsubishi and Mitsui and Mizuho and so on, Megabank can loan the combination with equities. Those banks wanted to combine equity finance with debt loans. I think it's good collaboration.
It is interesting. We have seen more and more of this type of financing in Japan, this mixed financing. But in your case, it was driven by the investors wanting to structure it this way rather than you and the team wanting to structure it this way.
Yeah, like you said, TechCrunch editor said it's unique scheme. In Japan, step by step, those scheme, little by little, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely been seeing a growing trend at later stage investments.
Yeah.
So that is interesting.
Yes.
Hey, let's get back to talking about the Japan market and chat commerce.
Yeah.
If I'm going to throw some statistics at you. So, chat commerce globally was a $41 billion market in 2021. It's expected to grow to $290 billion by 2025.
Yeah.
Now, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But China, Japan, South Korea account for more than 90% of the entire chat commerce market.
Yeah.
Why? This works. It's converting. There's so much commerce being done here. Why is it just Japan, China, and South Korea?
Yeah, it's very exciting point. First, WeChat invented this area, social commerce, live commerce, and chat commerce. And Meta opposite WeChat. WeChat became super app, but Meta separated those apps example, first timing, Facebook app included Messenger, but Facebook separated Messenger apps and Instagram, WhatsApp separated. But WeChat application include all applications, so-called super app. And Line have tracked this WeChat economies. And in Korean market have Naver. Naver is near Line platform. And Naver also tracked WeChat. So WeChat is origin and Line platform and Naver.
Okay, so it was really just the dominance, the solid WeChat platform in China and and rest of Asia to a lesser extent, and the solid Line platform in Japan and South Korea that's driving it.
Yes. So this super app had a very big power and influence for e-commerce companies, especially China market and Japan market and Korean market connect social commerce and chat commerce on those super app is very important strategy for next level marketing because third party cookie ban and many e-commerce companies decrease investment on Google on search engine. So more and more focus on super app.
So is this something that you think will work overseas? So like one of the things when you announced the investment, you talked about the fact that you'd be using these new funds partially for international expansion. So obviously you think this will work overseas too, right?
Yeah, definitely. So now China and Japan and Koreans already have the product and the new economy of these areas, I think. In US, example, today I met McKinsey US team, social commerce or SNS marketing department. They said it's very unique and from now on in US market, there will be many case studies and this market will spread from now on. So now Research Institute predicted a chat commerce market mainly in Asia market. But I think this experience can expand US or Europe or other areas, I think.
Okay, so like before COVID, you guys were doing a little bit of business. You had some business in Taiwan and Thailand and the Philippines, these Asian, Southeast Asian countries. Is that your target for international expansion now, or are you looking more at the US and European markets?
To be honest, I already decided to expand our business to the US market. So I went to the US during 1 month and I met many potential customers and investors and competitors. Zeals product is very unique and potential clients said they were very excited and it now. So Instagram and so SNS platform will connect with chat commerce and social commerce from now on in US. So I already decided. But Asian market is also very exciting.
Let me push back on that a bit because I see this challenge that you pointed out earlier is if the reason for chat commerce success in China, Korea, Japan has been the dominance of these chat focused SNS platforms like WeChat and Line, and the US, Facebook, Instagram, it's not chat focused, it's not chat dominant. So, how are you going to fix that? How are you going to get around that?
Yeah. So why? Yeah, so why? Yeah, I understand a very interesting question. Thank you. Like you said, until last year, the same situation. Instagram didn't open API, so we couldn't provide conversational commerce experience on Instagram and Meta platforms. But last year, Meta said next e-commerce innovation will be conversational commerce, so or like chat commerce, and open the API of Instagram. This is really recently. So from now on, we can provide chat commerce experience on Instagram.
So I guess what I want to ask is so when I'm using Line or WeChat, my brain is in kind of chat mode, right? I'm chatting with a person.
Yeah.
And when I'm using Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, I'm more in like a scroll mode, right? I'm not like thinking of interacting with one person. So do you think that Facebook, Instagram is going to become more chat like? Or do you think that it's just a big enough platform that this chat commerce will impact it?
Yes. How user use this experience. For example, MAC Cosmetic Instagram account, they have 24 million followers. It's very huge. And they often post a story and the user watch this and click this and jump website. This is basically Instagram experience, but if they connect Zeals, we provide new experience. User watch story and reply start to communicate with users on Instagram chat. Very smooth and example what your skin tones and several questions, very easy and personalized suggestion for user.
I can certainly see how that would be a much more engaging personal experience. And I noticed you've got a lot of cosmetic companies in your portfolio. It seems like health and beauty is a great target.
Yeah, already it's a L'Oreal, Seido, Estee Lauder, top of the world cosmetic companies already use.
In this kind of chat commerce, the consumers who are chatting, do they always know they're talking to a bot, or do they sometimes think they're talking to a person?
In fact, users reply free text case under 0.1%. Very few.
That's interesting because how does Japanese natural language processing compare to the state of the art in English language or in Chinese?
Yes. So, team, important questions. So, our experience is smart reply. So, smart replies, user select button and connect next scenarios. So, those smart reply scenario-based experience is very important for chat commerce, I think. Yeah, and smart reply is very unique. Other countries' chat experience is mainly free text.
Right. Okay. I want to go back to the global expansion, going global, which is something people talk about so much in Japan among Japanese startups. But why do you think it is that still relatively few Japanese startup founders want to go global?
My ambition is omotenashi revolution from Japan to the world. So I want to expand the global market, improve or raise Japan presence for global market. So this question is important. To be honest, investors affect this global expansion. To be honest, in Jill's case, someone of investors said, stop, have to stop.
Okay. So the Japanese investors are the ones discouraging founders from global expansion.
So in Japan case, there is very few case study to expand the global market. So my hypothesis is investor maybe said to interrupt expansions or not invest.
So the investors, a lot of investors think there's no good case studies of Japanese startups going overseas, so they don't want the startups going overseas. It's kind of a chicken and egg problem, really, isn't it?
So most important, we have to make case study, success case study to expand the global market, especially the US market, I think. So we try to do IPO in Nasdaq until 3 years. There have been nothing to IPO in Nasdaq by tech startup from Japan.
All right, so hopefully Zeals will be one of the first case studies of success in the US.
Yes. And if we do this, many investors will change strategy. So entrepreneur have the passion or motivation to expand the global market. But investors are not so many to have this motivation. But if we will do, we change totally thinking of investors, I think.
I think so too. I think the mindset of the founders has changed much, much more quickly than the mindset of Japanese investors.
Yeah. So now if a startup entrepreneur said, we will do IPO, so investor feel, okay, you will do IPO on topics. So Tokyo Stock Market Exchange. It's fit now, but in the future, if entrepreneur said, we will do IPO, or Nasdaq?
Do you see that changing? I mean, I've seen. Do you see more Japanese investors being open to international expansion?
Yeah. So have you ever talked with investors?
Oh, many times, all the time.
Many times. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How did you feel about investors' global expansion insight?
I think our experiences are very similar. Most Japanese VCs are fairly conservative as far as VCs go. Doing a market entry, particularly in a market like the US, it takes a lot of capital, it involves a lot of risk. You're not going to be making money from it for a while. So I think most Japanese VCs they view this as like, well, why are we taking on all this risk when we could have a nice safe IPO in 2 years
Mm.
and
Yes,
exit our
yes.
position? And yeah, I hear the same thing that you're seeing. But I think it's changing. I think more and more Japanese VCs are becoming open to the idea of global expansion. Some of them are even encouraging it.
Yes, yes. So please encourage venture capital. You should invest strategy to global expansions and the startups.
Well, I will do my job on my side telling VCs to invest, and you do your job on your side becoming a role model by a big successful IPO on NASDAQ.
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely, definitely. I think it totally change in the future.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. All right. Listen, Masa, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, me too.
And we're back. The more I think about chat commerce, the more excited I get about it. Right now is clearly very early days, and advances in machine learning, AI, and natural language processing are going to completely transform how chat commerce works over the next couple of years. But at its core, this is a new kind of online advertising. Not because of the technology, but because of the channel. Chat, or actually messaging, is fundamentally different from display, search, video, email, or almost anything else we have today. The difference is that with chat, with messaging, you need to opt into the relationship with each individual advertiser. And you can disconnect and end that relationship at any time. With the users in control, the advertisers need to behave themselves. And the result is a much, much more enjoyable experience for the user. If you have any doubt about this at all, compare the user experience of Line to that of Facebook. Direct connection and opt-in incentivizes good behavior. And as we've seen, shares, clicks, and likes incentivize bad behavior. Of course, chat commerce won't work for top-of-the-funnel branding and awareness building, but that's only a small part of most advertising budgets. So this might be the start of something genuinely new, and I sincerely hope it is. Not just because I hope Masa and the Zeals team are hugely successful in their US market entry and hit their IPO target, but because I think it would be amazing if Japan could help start an advertising revolution. A new kind of advertising that is based not on inserting ads between the users and their desired destination, but one based on omotenashi. Based on building and maintaining productive, satisfying relationships That would be a much better world. If you want to talk more about chat commerce or omotenashi, Masa and I would love to hear from you. So come by disruptingjapan.com/show195. Leave a comment and let's talk about it. And hey, if you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes or your podcast platform of choice. Share a link on social or, just tell a friend about it. But most of all, thanks for listening. And thank you for letting people interested in Japanese startups know about the show. I'm Tim Romero, and thanks for listening to Disrupting Japan.